That's this one. What's up, you pencil pushers? Nick Daniels here, coming at you live, man, yet again. And today we're reading another post on Reddit here from Am I the Asshole? So let's get right into it here. So 6 months ago, that's the 2345 posted. Am I the asshole for not paying for my date? So without any further ado, let's get right into that. You know, it's my favorite subject to talk about. So we're just reading here, obviously off the screen, not myself here. 26 male and Kyla, 24 female, matched on a dating app. We messaged a few times, but nothing really happened from it. A couple months later, we see each other at a mutual friend's wedding. We talk almost the entire night and have a great time. I asked for Kyla's number and from our mutual friend. We text for a few weeks and eventually make plans to meet. So far, so good. We have plans to meet for drinks, and she cancels last minute. Basically, 10 minutes before we are set to meet for dinner, Kyla tells me something came up and can't make it. I tell her that's fine, and she starts taking longer to text, is short and less engaged, and eventually she quits responding, and I move on. I'll get a stop right there. So there's a lot of terms that you'll call that, or you'll hear from this. Now, I just like calling it the slow burn, but it happens a lot. So for some reason, when someone just gets like uninterested, and whatever reason she could be uninterested here, it sounds like she's uninterested. But we'll read on because I'm sure he has met her, and then obviously the situation of paying for the date has arisen. But in a lot of situations, yeah, like you'll hear it referred to a lot. But that's what will happen. The text, it's very obvious when someone's texting, in a certain pattern. Maybe a couple sentences fairly frequently, engaging, asking questions, being inquisitive. And then it moves on to, just the short answers, longer to answer, not asking any questions. It's like, how's your day going? And it's just like, oh, good, thanks. That's what will happen. And it's basically so the other person will lose interest, right? And they won't, it's almost like they don't have to like ghost you, which would, I guess, just be too difficult, that you'll just eventually give up on them. So that's what that was going on. What it looks like that's happening, but we'll see. A week later, she calls to apologize and asks if we meet up again. I agree only because my friend's new wife convinced me. Okay, at the wedding, I assume, from people from the wedding. Okay, as mentioned, that's good. So, also, by the way, that she canceled last second on the date, too. A lot of times I find that's always with anxiety on online dating. Like, people will get way too nervous. But the thing is, they've already met. So I wouldn't really say that in this situation, but a lot of times that's happened to me. And I've actually called out one of the girls one time for doing that. And I was like, hey, like, 20 minutes before you said something came up. Like, are you just nervous or something? And she went, yeah, that's it. Okay. So, anyway, we'll see. Date comes and it started off rocky. Kyla shows up late saying traffic was bad. Okay, so I mean, late's fine. That can happen. She brought up her past relationships constantly, and it made me feel uncomfortable. That's one of the things that you don't do on a first date, by the way, is you try not to like bring up anything too negative. And one of them is exes. Like, you don't bring up relationships normally. Like, if you make a quick jest at it, it's one thing, but if you like get into it, it's another. Like, I had a girl do that to me, man, and I'm telling you, it was weird. It was like, listen, like, I honestly, she sounded like a psycho. She did apologize for canceling the first date, saying she was I said that. I literally said that. It's like, I swear to God, I didn't read this. I swear to Christ, I didn't. I never read this until right now. I did not look forward. I did not read that and say that like I knew what I was talking about. That is what happens, right? It is, they cancel like 10 minutes before, 20 minutes before, whatever it is, and some BS reason comes up, right? Like, or they don't even really say. They're just like, yeah, I gotta cancel. Like, I guarantee you, there's a good chance that's exactly it. It's just that they're too nervous and they don't go. Like, I don't get the point. Anyway, but I can't believe I call it that. That's awesome. She also had multiple drinks and a shot. I only had 2 drinks. Now, we don't get the definition of multiple here, but it's this stipulation from the last Am I the Asshole video. I'll hopefully do these in order. That it's still this thing, that the stigma that men pay for just every single date, no matter what. I don't think it's a bad thing if the guy pays for like the dinner and she pays for the movie. I think that's great. I have no problem splitting a bill. I think that's fine. I have no problem if a guy wants to pay the bill. I think that's fine too. Because I guess you're kind of making some kind of impression, right? Which is good. And you're asking someone out, you're treating them out. There's another thing of abusing that. Like, I value someone's money, right? So if someone was gonna like take me out for a drink, I'm only probably gonna get a drink, right? Or like a drink or two. I'm not gonna go for a bunch of drinks and get a shot because I know that I'm not paying for fuck all, right? That's not right. She was also on her phone, not the whole date, but enough for me to notice. I'm going line by line at this point, but yeah, that's extremely frustrating when you like. It shows that like she's not valuing his time. Because if you're just on your phone the entire time, you're like, I find it just really disrespectful to the person that's sitting across from you trying to have a conversation with you, and you're too busy doing some like you're talking to people that aren't there. That's annoying. That would drive me up the wall. Things weren't going well, and the conversation was stiff. We've all been there. When the bill comes, I ask how we're doing, and I say split it. She looks at me and says, I didn't actually bring my wallet. At this point, I'm just done, and I say, I'm sorry, but I'm not paying, and I don't think this is going to work. Ooh. I paid my bill and left, and while Kyla sat there, my friend's wife calls me that night, yelling at me, calling me an asshole. I guess her sister had to come bring her money. I've been called an asshole by some of the friend group. Am I the asshole? Yeah, so, yeah, before you even read down, supposedly he was rated not the asshole in that situation, but, yeah, there's definitely, like, again, like, you just don't show up to a date and don't bring your wallet. I just, doesn't make sense to me. Like, or mention it in the get-go, right? Mention it right off the hop. Be like, hey, listen, I forgot my wallet. I swear to God, like, wasn't intentional. If you don't mind grabbing it, I'll pay you half or something like that, right? I'd have no problem with that. Or just say it up front. And I'd be like, listen, I'll get it. Don't worry about it. All in the house, But having that open conversation, that communication is great. And clearly that didn't happen. But it's like the first comment says right here, the top comment. Like, it's really just, again, like, you just don't bring your wallet and then just automatically assume, okay, I'm going to go and get a bunch of drinks, knowing you don't have it, by the way. And, oh, yeah, Billy's going to pay for it here. So, anyways, like I said, you can go through the comments here if you guys want to find the post and read around. But, 24-year-old, you're not going to bring your wallet when you go out. That's ridiculous. Yeah, there's really nothing else to say. That's it. So, thank you so much for watching, everybody. We'll see you in the next one. Take it easy. Nick Daniels. Peace.